Good day all you lovely people in YouTube land. Over the last couple of weeks, the South African power utility company Eskom refuted claims that South Africa would be plunged back into darkness with their load-shedding schedules that the country needed to endure at various times the last couple of years. According to a spokesperson from the utility company, 6 generation units went down in one day, then another 2 were shut down due to leakages. And unverified reports are doing the rounds that there is also problems at South Africa's only nuclear power plant. But what is fact is that as of this morning, some areas were without power for 2 hours at a time as the utility started implementing Stage 2 load shedding. So in September, the representatives in Parliament lied through their teeth to the representatives of the people. During the last rounds of load shedding that the country needed to endure to the lack of capability of the utility to keep the lights on, the country lost billions in revenue, not only in taxes, but in people viewing the country as a potential investment opportunity and tourist destination. But these tactics of load shedding have come a long way. If any rational person have a look at the previous times that load shedding was implemented by the power utility, it was usually the same time that they asked the National Energy Regulator of South Africa to grant them exorbitant increases to cover their liabilities. If it might seem like the regulator is dead set against the requested tariffs, the utility would implement these load-shedding schedules, thereby crippling the economy in an effort to try to get their own way. But the most recent implementation should come as no surprise to any citizen of the country. In the media over the last couple of weeks it was reported that the utility is taking the regulatory to court over tariff restrictions. In an article that appeared on the 11th of October on Fin24, it reads as follows. Eskom has approached the North Gauteng High Court to challenge the energy regulator's decision to grant it a lower tariff increase, which it says left the company with a shortfall of 102 billion. The National Energy Regulator of South Africa, NERSA, in March extended tariff increases of 9.41%, 8.1%, and 5.22% to Eskom over 3 years. The debt-ridden power producer had applied for price hikes of 17.1% for 2019/20, 15.4% for 2020/21 and 15.5% for 2021/22 to raise funds. The company had argued that the increase in the price of electricity would help it lower its growing debt burden. Following analysis of the reasons for decision, the Eskom board decided on taking the matter to court, said Caleb Kassim, Eskom's chief financial officer, in a statement on Friday. He said the company had put in an application for urgent interim relief, which is necessary to avoid financial disaster for Eskom. We are seeking an order to address this shortfall in a phased manner. In addition, we are seeking the court to review and set aside NERSA's MYPD4 revenue decision and remit that decision to NERSA for reconsideration in the light of the court's judgment, Kassim said. Eskom's request for increases was opposed by business, labor, and civil society in written and oral submissions to the regulator. Bailouts. The state-owned power utility received a lifeline in the February budget speech of 23 billion every year for the next 3 years from National Treasury. A separate special appropriations bill is also currently being considered by Parliament, to grant the utility 59 billion in funds over 2 years. In July, Eskom reported a net loss after tax of 20.7 billion for the 2019 financial year. While its total debt stands at about 440 billion, it is also facing a growing burden of non-payment from some municipalities. It is not the first time that Eskom has challenged NERSA in court over tariffs. Earlier this year, Eskom launched a court bid to have tariff increases reviewed, Bloomberg reported. So to get their point across, load shedding again. Eskom has been identified as one of the biggest leakers of tax monies into hands of cronies and corrupt individuals. And even though there have been many turnaround plans presented, every couple of months the utility asks for more tax funds. This state-owned enterprise is leaking funds like a sieve, and until the management get a handle on all the looting, tax monies will need to be poured into this utility. Another reason why this utility is always in financial trouble is the fact that their staff complement is 3 times larger than what it is supposed to be. The utility also managed to get rid of so many skilled white employees due to their pursuit of black economic empowerment and affirmative action that they have staff on their books that are, for the lack of another word, useless and underproductive. Projects like the new power stations that the utility had contracted are running more than 5 years behind schedule and way over budget. But the corruption might be the biggest factor with these 2 power stations that are apparently being investigated. But the investigation has been put on hold due to lack of funds. How sad for those stealing billions from the taxpayers. Another problem with the utility is the fact that an estimate 40% of the power that flows through the distribution lines are being tapped off with illegal connections that is happening all over the country. Another one is the fact that municipalities take funds from the users but never pay it over to the utility. The last figure that I heard was approximately 17 billion was owed by the municipalities, and goodness know how much by the other national government and provincial government departments. So Eskom want more money from the users to fund their deeds, and with these tactics of load shedding, more and more people are moving away from the utility, thereby reducing the income of the utility with more and more illegal users connecting daily. I hope that this will make you think about what can be waiting for the residents for the rest of the duration of this court case and when the next negotiations with the energy regulator will happen. Thank you for watching.